Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is Tuesday's edition of Rasaji Speaks. Today's lesson comes from our Facebook group called the Circle of Life Group 24. And in that, we allow our members to pick one or sometimes two of our titles for our Rasaji Speaks episodes. Today it was a conversation and comments made by Sister Dawn and Sister Carrie a week or two ago about ego. They wanted me to speak about ego. I looked at what they said and I pulled from it the basic, what they were asking. What are the pros and the cons of ego? Some mystical groups say you must annihilate the ego, completely destroy the identity or self-identity. Some believe there's no such thing as an identity. Lamasery takes a little different idea about the ego. We create siddhanas or rites to do spiritual practices to kind of hold the ego accountable, hold it at bay, reflect on it. There is a positive side of ego. There's also a negative side. One of the greatest series of writings that I thought about the ego has been done by a child psychologist over the years by the name of Taylor Hartman. I've met Taylor a couple of times, real interesting person. He created a system called the color code system. It's like a fun version of a Myers-Briggs personality test that a lot of people would take when they're being interviewed for employment. He created 4 core colors. Blue, that represents for people who won't do anything unless it has quality to it. When it's admirated and when the ego's taking over for blue, they believe no one on the planet can do it better than them. You see the imbalance? Then there's the whites. If it's not win-win and it's not diplomatic, then I don't want to be involved in it. Make a good diplomat, a white. When the white is extreme and ego's taken over, whites are creating something every day, as if the yin cycle is 360 degrees. The problem is they're going to create in their mind today and tomorrow and the next day, and the chances of them getting anything done when they're aberrated, that's where the ego falls short. The yellows are motivated by fun. If it ain't fun here, if it's not adventuresome, don't count me in. Problems with yellows is commitment. When they're admirated and their ego has gone unchecked, they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this and that for you, Lama Ji. And tomorrow they're trying to figure out how to get out of that commitment all the time. Yellows are hard ladies to walk them down the altars. Be careful. They're fun to hang around with, but it takes a lot of grounding of a yellow to find the marrying type, if you know what I mean. The reds are driven by goal orientation. Reds are the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies when their egos are balanced, because you have to have confidence and self-esteem. But the ego of a red is out of sorts when they're running over people to get to their goals. Kind of gives you an overview of how the ego can get out of hand. But if we're doing mirror meditation, if we're doing our Tai Chi Gong exercises, if we're doing our column exercise 3 or 4 times a year, if we're using our students when we're teaching for mirrors, if we never forget that no matter how great of a teacher we are, we're always a student first. And the better the student, the better the teacher. And then you keep things in equilibrium. The goal of an ego is to transform it, use it to your advantage. It's supposed to be the servant of you. When it becomes the ruler of you, buddy, howdy, you're ready to shoot that daggum ego, yes? It can keep us from growing. It really can, especially when we get the big head. But if we're doing our sadhanas, if we're coming to ascension tours, if we're showing up to the gathering, which we soon will have 2 gatherings a day, one at 1 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays and one at 7:30 Eastern time on Wednesday nights. And that too will help us keep the ego in check. Baraka Bashad, may the blessings be to you and to your glorious family. Thank you, Sister Dawn and Callie, for giving Lamaji the title today. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow on Hump Day. Take care.